Thank you, Bill. It's such a privilege to be here with so many inspiring professionals and to hear our dinner chair's powerful call to action. Thank you, Maher, for adding your clarion voice to this cause and for the Hollywood Foreign Press Association's generosity to CPJ. Come on, $1 million is worth a little applause, I think. Tonight, you'll get to know some of our winners through some fantastic videos created by our good friends at Bloomberg. I'd like to thank CPJ board member Karen Amanda Tulin, who oversaw the videos. They were crafted by Bloomberg TV's talented executive producer, Matthew Saul, and editor Dan Wallenstein. Shout out, guys. So please turn to the video screen now for a look at the challenges journalists face today. As you can see, there have been some glimmers of good news for journalists in trouble. Tonight, we have already celebrated 2 freed from unjust imprisonment, but there's more. For the first time in 13 years, there are no journalists in jail in Ethiopia. And in Ecuador, a new government promised an end to the media repression of the past. The work of CPJ staffers is responsible for these positive outcomes. But as you know, there is so much more to do. Because for every journalist freed this year, another one was hauled away to jail. Hundreds more were harassed, threatened, beaten, or worse. Getting journalists out of jail is slow and grinding work, as our friends from Reuters know. They are leading a very public campaign to free their 2 reporters wrongly convicted in Myanmar after a sham trial. If you want to help them, and I know you do, there are buttons just outside the ballroom, and I hope you take one and wear it proudly. The number of journalists killed has been going down, in part because there are fewer journalists covering conflict, which is often the most dangerous of our work. Just ask the journalists in Yemen and Syria and Afghanistan who lost colleagues to war this year. But listen to this. The number of journalists who are murdered for their work is going up. 28 this year. That is 10 more than last year. And these murders are happening in places that were once thought to be safer. Malta, Slovakia, Annapolis, Maryland, and behind the walls of a Saudi consulate in Turkey. Please pause with me for a moment to honor all of our fallen colleagues. Thank you. These journalists did nothing more than their jobs, and someone didn't like their work and decided to kill them. Usually, the killers get away with it, but CPJ's campaign against impunity has helped keep the world spotlight on these murders until the killers or their sponsors are caught and punished. The world is pretty scary right now. In many countries, it's not just acceptable to insult people who are different and demonize those you don't like. That's become the slimy path to political power. And the forces of press repression seem to be getting louder and more powerful by the minute. The Committee to Protect Journalists exists to fight them and keep fighting them for as long as it takes until journalists worldwide are free to report the news and serve their audiences without getting killed. And you are in that fight with us. It's you who make it possible for CPJ staff to visit journalists in jail and offer comfort while pushing for their release. It was you who helped create the programs that teach journalists how to protect themselves, physically and electronically. And you helped create the emergency assistant programs that funds medical care to the injured and offers a brief exile to the threatened. Let's make no mistake here. The bullies and despots and murderers think they're winning. They believe they can shut us up forever because no one cares about journalists. They are so wrong. Those that believe they can get away with it, and those that believe that a life of a journalist is worth less than the coin exchanged for arms and planes. They will not win because we will keep fighting them. All of us in this room. The Committee to Protect Journalists and you. Thank you.